Hey guys, welcome back. It's time to take a look. We got more information. It's all over the place. It's not coming directly from the spot where it should be coming from, but we got the Snype platform. Rick Probstein, the large seller on eBay, consigner on eBay, made his own platform. That platform went down, like on the screen here. This is a live shot of the website itself. It still says we'll be back shortly, but it seems like that is not the case. So if you didn't watch this video, you might want to beforehand, but the rundown for those who didn't or those who need a reminder was the fact that the data was leaked. Your data was leaked. If you were consigning, if you were bidding, it's all leaked, including payment information, as we'll take a look at there. So this is something that should be announced by the platform, but has not been. And we got some media who's doing a little bit of defense, a little bit of not telling the full story. So we're going to cover all of that today. Not to mention the fact that there are some alleged shill bidding that happened by Probstein. Some shady individuals, known shady individuals who were verified super duper accounts on the platform. All right, let's get into all the details. No announcement here on the Probstein auctions Instagram. We just have them showing that they're selling cards on eBay. This is important information for anyone that is in the hobby, whether you're in sports cards, Pokemon cards, any cards of any kind, anything that might be sold on that platform. You should make your own decisions when you're buying from, selling through, whatever it might be. Be careful out there. There are nefarious people doing nefarious things. So here he is, back up and running on the old eBay. Like nothing happened. Nothing even happened. There's nothing to see here. Separate topic, but we got 2 data breaches at one time. We got people who hacked Becket. Have all your personal information. If you have a Becket account, you want to be careful there. You want to stay informed. This video should have way more views. Way more people should be concerned about this, especially those impacted. If you have a Becket account or know anyone that does, watch that video. All right. Now, we don't have an official statement, but we do have Catch 'em All Collectibles with this video. He unfortunately recommended that people use the platform. That's not his fault. No one could have predicted how absolutely poorly this platform was launched and that everyone's information was leaked. It sucks for everyone involved, everyone that made an account on there, everyone that has a Becket account that was impacted. It's unfortunate. Make sure you take whatever precautions you find necessary. The reality is, if you're a large collector, if you have a collection of any kind and your information, your address information is leaked, you are more prone to someone robbing you. That's the sad reality, the unfortunate reality of what's going on here. So watch this video if you want to stay informed on the entire situation. It's an important one, but we're going to take a little snippet out here where he talks to Rick on the phone, and he's going to recall that conversation. And he asked Rick, these allegations of you shill bidding on the platform, you with those multiple accounts and family accounts and such, didn't happen. So we're going to watch that part right now.
Shill bidding accusations. I said account relation, proximity, all that stuff. I brought it up. I didn't say like, I didn't come at like, you were shilling, I would have been hung up on. If I went like, you were this, that, I just asked him. I said on that E4 thread that you're probably aware of, there were very serious accusations of shill bidding. There were very serious accusations of many accounts existing that were all bidding in concerning ways, is basically what I said. And he didn't hang up on me. He addressed it. And I am not satisfied with the answer. I don't really believe the answer, but an answer was given. And I'm gonna forward it to you. It was something along the lines of like, yeah, Snype was more like, Snype did not work as we intended it to, as we thought it would work. No auction was, well, auctions were ending. So auctions were ending. I was getting emails. My credit card was getting charged that one night, that Monday night, while the site was down. Auctions were ending in the back end. I was winning. I have, to be fair, I have been refunded for every single one. I pulled that up, and I was charged for like $20,000 plus worth of wins that weren't real because the website was down, but somehow they didn't have the ability to stop them going through. But what he said, and I guess I'm just going to say what he said, and I'm not really going to say legal reasons, all that stuff. Judge for yourself, await future developments on his, await a potential investigation maybe years down the line. I think things like that can take a real long time. And I did do some posts in the E4 thread, so if you care to have a little bit more comfort, or a little bit more conversation on this topic from me myself, like go read the E4 thread. 111 posts, I think 5 or 6 of them are me. But he basically said like, well, no auctions ever actually really ended. And because it was so broken, because we were actively troubleshooting things as it was going on, there were a lot of test accounts that we had that we were experimenting with, essentially. That's what was said. Again, I I've never deleted the video, and I never intend to. I never want to put myself in that situation. I'm not a tech guy. If I were a tech guy, given the answer that I was given, I would go and I would look at timestamps. I would go and I would look at, for some short period of time, auctions were live, and the site, we didn't know it to be broken. So the claim that was made to me in the phone call would be able to be, in my opinion, directly pushed back on if you were able to validate that timestamps those accounts were bidding before issues were happening. I do not have the ability myself. I don't know how to do that. So I genuinely, I don't know that anything mischievous was going on, but I have a high suspicion that mischievous things were going on. I just have no way to prove it. There might be people out there listening to this. I'm probably not going to be the place for that. I'm not going to be the channel for that. You're probably not going to get this anywhere else, but like, I do apologize for my video last week. I am very frustrated in the situation that like some amount of people out there signed up because I talked about it. They wouldn't have heard about it had I not talked about it. And in the last, I'm not deleting it, but there's a take where I wrote, I'm looking at my notes here. I said at one point that like Rick is not shilling his auctions, his employees, there's no like coordinated effort. And one thing that I said in the E4 thread, one thing that I said on PokeFlips, but like I need to be more cynical. I am fairly cynical, but like for anyone who's deep in the lore, which if you're watching this video 15 minutes in, you're probably like deep.
He's going to go on about the Blake stuff. No one thought, why would Blake, why would an NFL player that has whatnot stroking him to the fullest degree, why would he have to cheat anyone? Why would he have to cheat, lie, steal, etc.? And we've seen it. We've seen it on the bottom end, on the top end. There are a lot of bad actors out there. So did it get refunded? This video here seems to be the only place that we have a statement of some kind regarding what went on, the shilling part of it, which is a little bit concerning that we have journalism taking place that don't seem to bring that up in their articles. That's later on. So stuff was refunded. How is the platform so shoddy that you know you need to shut it down, but you can't like prevent the auctions from ending and billing people for that stuff? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Even if it's refunded afterwards, how is the platform that ill prepared for what could possibly happen? Like, just insane. So here we have Packy Man saying, in my opinion, the response/email is a flat out lie, as you could still access live auctions if you simply remove the splash. Dave saying the site was down. So I guess they thought they hit everything with the splashy washy art, but not the case. We have Blightzard, the person who provided much of the information in terms of the accounts tied to Probstein that were bidding on and winning auctions. Concerning, to say the least. Not to mention the other bad actors that were approved accounts, that were vetted accounts, which is probably just as concerning as the shill bidding stuff. We have problems with eBay, shill bidding, fake items, fake sales, discussed in that E4 thread. Check that out if you want more context. Now, we have some debate whether or not we're going to have someone later that's like, oh yeah, it's not illegal. They were allowed to bid on their own auctions on Snype. But there's all kinds of content that was put out, including this with the sports card dad, where Rick says that shill bidding is not allowed and not an issue. So let's take a little gander at this. We get Packy Man posting that as well, saying Rick himself talking at 1:30 about shill bidding claims and preventions. So is it prevention for you, but not prevention for others?
Pops up.
So I have a famous nickname, Shilstein. We were going to actually name the website Shilstein.com, but we thought that, Snype might be more apropos. No, it's important to address this. Now, first off, in terms of the shill bidding accusations with us, I had one guy who was just
this is like, before everything happened,
killing us online. You shill. I said, dude, why don't you come to my office? You can interview all my employees privately. I will give you full access to all of our computers, all of our files, and you will see that we run 700,000 auctions a year, and we are not bidding on our own auctions. Obviously the guy didn't take me up on it. So there is, people protecting the marketplace. It's happening in the industry, but we have basically designed the new platform to sort of like circumvent shill bidding, and I'll explain how. So we have two different types of bidders, a regular bidder and what we call a super bidder. Now, we will have auctions that are only super bidder only. So let's say you have a $20,000 item that you're putting up for auction. On some other platforms, you can have an instance where somebody can come in and win the auction with 2 feedback, and then they don't pay. We've all probably seen it happen. Some of us have maybe have it directly happen to us. And the problem is that that person with 2 feedback should not be able to just come in out of the middle of nowhere and bid on a $20,000 item or even a $1,000 item. So all of our super bidders will be vetted. They're going to have to provide an industry reference. We're going to research the accounts. Many of these people, we have a 5-year, a 10-year, or 20-year relationship with them in terms of them bidding on our items previously. So they will be pre-approved bidders. And then new bidders that are coming in that aren't considered super bidders, they can bid and take place on the platform, but they will not have access to bidding on whatever they want.
Okay. So you almost have to work up to the super.
All right. So super bidders, super vetted, super trustworthy, surely not hobby fraudsters, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others. We'll take a look at that. So we have some expanded group analysis, and we'll give it a scroll through here. I have reached out to Buyee with some information, some stuff for him to take a look at, take a little searchy-roo for, maybe some other people that might be of interest, that might be in there, might be on that, might be approved. But we got a concerning amount, and again, it's weird that there's just like, there's no statement directly made. We have second-hand information from phone calls with Rick. All right. This one's just kind of funny because he's talking about drinking his expensive liqueur.
McCowan 65. $150,000 for a beverage the size of a big gulp. Now, my dream was to always open it when I had $1 billion in sales on eBay. At $930 million, I walk away and I start my own website, Snype.
Was that a collect reference?
Now, if it goes really well, I think we're going to open and celebrate. And if it goes really poorly, well, I'm going to drown my sorrows. Stay thirsty, follow your dreams.
Stay thirsty. All right. So we got Blythe here saying, Rick, maybe it's drink it now. It's been a long week. Sure has. Sure has. So what do we got here? We got another little interesting tidbit, little post. A lot of posts going on before Snype came up, but no posts saying, hey, sorry, customers. Sorry, bidders. Sorry, consigners. Your information was all leaked. And then not addressing all the suspicious bidding that was going on tied to Rick himself and others.
Snype has taken many preventative measures to stop shill bidding. Here are just 3 of them. Okay, 1, we have 2 types of bidders. There's a regular bidder who's auto-paid, and then there's a super bidder who is pre-approved. They have to be pre-approved to bid on the expensive items. 2, all the bidder IDs are completely exposed. Everything is transparent. 3,
is it okay to defensively bid on your own cards when they're at auction?
all the sellers, consigners are not able to bid on their own items. It's completely blocked. Don't call me Shill.
All right, so it doesn't seem like that was the case, but maybe it was. They were just testing. They were just testing the Shill biddingness of it. They were test accounts. That's the explanation that we've been given. I think it's BS. We got analysis expanded, and we'll give it a scroll through here. It's on the Reddit, on the E4 thread, if you want to take a look at more detail. But we'll scroll through just in case anyway, just in case some stuff goes missing. You never know. This is the sort of thing where stuff tends to disappear. Oh my God, there's a lot here. All right, let's give it a scroll through here. Keith. Don't worry, we'll touch on Keith in just a minute. And then we got graphs. We're graphing out here. Top bidders. Craziness. All right. Here's some Blyant Zard talking about contacting the authorities, providing that data to the authorities. I think that's in the best interest of anyone who's honest and open to making sure that there was no shady business going on here, and surely they can make of that what they will. All right, so with BGS, it's unclear whether or not payment information was leaked at this point in time. What is certain is that, certain based on the accusations and the exposing pieces that were published here. We have Catch 'em All, who says that Buyee in DMs was able to confirm the brand of his card, and basically that card brand, expiry, last 4 digits, checking, routing, so bank account information too. I'm not sure how much can be done in terms of like your banking numbers, how much bad someone can do with that. But if you have a credit card, if you had a credit card on there, it's probably in your best interest to just cancel that card and get a new one from your card provider. Buyee here confirms that the customer's card information and that the bank information for the consigners was accessible. Scary, scary stuff. All right, so we have a translation here from Swoobot, who was able to put together, pretty sure PFM put Swoobot together in case, just because Buyee, English, not a first language. So if that's confusing, there you go. Now, Kevin Birch. If you don't know who Kevin Birch is, we have this sportscardradio.com article. He won 7 auctions, 2,904 bids for $182,000. Why is that an issue? We got Kevin Birch and Keith Koenig that came up. Interesting, right? Interesting stuff. How'd they get super bidder status? That would, if I had an auction platform, those would be some of the last 2 people that I would verify as a super bidder. A little bit of weirdness going on there. And we have other Sports Card Radio articles, such as this one here, featuring Kevin, Sports Card Scammer. He's a little bit of he's a jack of all trades in terms of sports card scams. And it looks like the 2 of them got into the old Pokemon game here with this one, a little trimmed off. Leads straight back to Kevin Birch and Keith Koenig. Now, important to note here, nice, a new platform for people to openly shill on and fake autographs to be sent. So probably some of that going on. We've seen in the past, Swopoke has called out many, Swopoke and others have called out many fake autographs, provably fake, copied from other cards, sometimes with a sketch that was done by a different artist, like poorly copied. Shame on the grading companies who let that stuff come through. Shame on the grading companies who did not deactivate those cards. Shame on the grading companies that have access to the information required to ban people who have a history of submitting fake autographs. What are we getting into? All right, we got more juice coming. Actually, we should touch on this real quick. The Blowout Cards Forum, they have called out fraud time and time again. There you go, Kevin Birch and Keith Koenig. This is a handy little list of eBay accounts, known card trimmers, and their agents. So you do a little research on the old Blowout forums. Some of them, most of them, stuck to sports. Some of them dabble in Pokemon as well, for all you Pokemon watchers out there. And yes, I did ask Buyee if he could do a little digging, see if there's any more information, if there's anyone other than Kevin Birch and Keith Koenig that might be featured in the article. All right, before we get into the media cover-up, in my opinion, we have the link tree. If you want to support the channel here, I will not shill auctions. I will not expose your personal information. Instead, I just ask you use the free ways to support. They're the best ways to support. You can shop with PSA, Pikachu, Securus, Card Shop, Card Market, Buyee. Couple different options for coupon codes if you want to buy something from Japan. Collector app for tracking your collection. A bunch of discount codes. Save some money while supporting the channel. And then also, we got affiliate links. Just click it before you shop for whatever you want to buy. Make sure it's something that you actually need. Card Market. Thank you to Card Market for sponsoring. Buy your singles on there. Not an auction. Be careful though. There's a lot that is manipulated. The new stuff is usually more expensive than it ever will be for a very long time. But also, there's market manipulation to the fullest degree going on in Pokemon currently. So we're going to talk about sources that you should trust. Liz here with a little outline about what's going on. Being a little critical of eBay for how did eBay have enough time to do a thorough investigation and just let them back on. Bring them back on here. There are many things to be critical of on eBay. All right, now we get into what is probably the worst article I have ever read on a situation whatsoever, especially from one that has all kinds of money behind it. We have Collect Media with this one. Breaking power seller Rick Probstein is closing his new auction platform Snype and returning to eBay following a failed launch. I think there might be some details missing there in the title alone. And yes, they do get dragged throughout the entire responses here on the x.com. Crazy. Not newsworthy enough. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's look at the article. There is an important tidbit that we're going to pull from it. You can read the article if you'd like to. But most importantly here, there's no mention of the allegations of shill bidding, the suspicious activity, the accused fraudsters of being on that platform and being approved before many others. But we have Probstein told Collect he was looking into the possibility the platform was the target of a cyber attack. Yeah, okay, all right. Then another important part here. When asked whether it vetted Probstein's return to its platform, eBay issued the following statement to Collect. eBay is committed to ensuring that all sellers are held to the same rigorous standards, policies, and requirements to maintain a trusted marketplace for the community. Holy bullshit. At least take some time and look into it. We got this one by Ben Burrows. We got Auburn35, someone you should be following on the x.com. Saying all this silence, and this is the update. Laffy GIF. We have Dan the Card Man saying, did you ask about the alleged data breach, the customer PII, and any potential breaches of GDPR or U.S. regulations? Did you ask about the alleged data leak that shows accounts are tied to employee emails? All great questions. Probably should have been asked. Probably should have been included. Not included. Even if you, it's not even softball questions. There's just the questions are not even included. A possibility of cyber attack. No, the information is leaked. It's there. It's leaked. Why is it not addressed? And then it calls into question the timeline that is required by law, depending on the state. Much more strict overseas, where it can be as little as 72 hours that you have to notify people if their information was breached. If the data was breached on your website and their personal information was leaked. Were there consigners? Or was it all within the U.S.? So is there going to be a statement? Is there not going to be a statement? What is even going on? Now, in the Catch 'em All video, Rick had mentioned to him, according to Catch 'em, that there was going to be an announcement. He was under the impression that it was going to be Jeff Wilson to provide such an announcement. It's weird why you wouldn't announce a data breach on your own platform and you'd rely on a third party to do so. Crazy, absolutely crazy stuff. We got Darren, the founder of Collect, getting dragged a little bit, saying Probstein's Snype rules and conditions said that the company can place bids. Auction houses have the same rules and do the same things. Is it not smart? Maybe. Is it illegal? No. And that's why he's back with eBay and not in jail like the mob wants him to be. So like it's a weird amount of like defense going on for Probstein from Darren. Weird. It's just a weird amount. So personal experience with Darren. He wanted to make an article on the Blake situation, the Blake Martinez scams on whatnot. So he reached out to me. We had a call. He had a hard time understanding the scams that were actually taking place. I described the different scams, went over it a couple times. I ended up writing it all out for him because he just wasn't getting it. He puts out an article. He half-ass references me in the article where I provided all of the information in writing because he couldn't understand it. At least that was my impression. Whether or not maybe he was just zoned out that day. Don't know. But regardless, despicable article in my opinion by Collect. And then the follow-up and defense, unacceptable. So we have Catch 'em All Collectibles, 1,500 and counting. Probstein on eBay back in business. Forget everything that happened, I guess. insane. The amount of like forgiveness that is in these hobbies is absolutely insane. Whether it's grading companies, auction companies, like they're just how many times? And people will be like, oh yeah, but everyone else is bad too. That's usually the excuse. Oh, XYZ grading they're not as bad as the other grading, or they're just, the other grading companies did something similar. So Darren here says, we were told if and when the eBay announcement was made that we would be able to have our questions answered. Our questions are some of your questions. All I can say is that Rick has declined to answer those questions as of now. But he won't answer the questions for you, which was like his announcement that was supposed to happen. Crazy. So we got Coach Doug's here, says we expect him to decline to answer. Why do you choose to not include the allegations, which is a much bigger story than the site failing? And Darren says, because journalism doesn't work like that, Coach Doug's. And we have Grok chiming in and saying journalists can include allegations. I think the allegations are pretty important here. There's the customers whose information was exposed, which was brushed over as a potential what was it? What was the wording on that? Potential attack? Not a potential attack. Someone exposing vulnerabilities. Whether or not anyone malicious obtained that information as well. It's important information to get out there. So we have AIH Sports with a little flashback here where Darren says the shill bidding that is going on in the vintage baseball card market is embarrassing. I think it ends up with people serving jail time. So I changed his tune over 6 years. Crazy. Darren, why is it okay now? Why is it not an issue? Why is it not worth putting in the article? To the chagrin of some of you, Rick Probstein will not be canceled from this. Could he lose some consignors? Sure. Will his eBay business be decimated? No. There are new challenges, though, not the least of which is straight from PSA grading to eBay. So he's worried about his competition, worried about him not getting canceled. We have Sports Card Radio with the response here saying people just want their credit card data, address, email to be secured. No shady bidding practices would be nice. The fact you're thinking of Rick at this moment rather than the thousands of people that would visit your site is strange. With the nice little tag on the bottom here, the Good Old Boy Network only worries about the good old boys. Crazy shit. Be careful out there. Insane that this is still going on and that the information is kind of coming out from everywhere except from where it should be. Take care. Join the Discord. See you next time. Bye.